Well, hey, Beth. It's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to my channel, honey. Listen, we got to talk about this Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip because you know they done dropped another episode, episode 4. So we got to go ahead and talk about it. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. Before I get into like this a full review, I want to touch on something real quick. Okay. So far, this season has been going really good. I really enjoy it. If you guys have not been watching it, feel free to check it out over there on Peacock. Now, if you haven't seen my other reviews on it, please know that the first episode I do believe is available to you all for free. Then you have to upgrade to like the premium, which probably like $5, I think it is. And you'll be able to watch the rest of the episodes, honey. Okay, so like, you know, it's good, it's cute, I like it, it's entertaining, you know, it's funny, it got, it's like, girl, no you didn't, it's just good overall. Okay, I don't know, it seems like maybe it's like fresh in comparison, you know what I'm saying? It's like a new group of ladies getting to see how they interact with each other. Like, it's just good overall. I'm definitely enjoying it. Now, on the past few episodes, we've seen where Ramona kept referring to Porsha, or at least Kenya, as Porsha. That's what Miss Ramona kept doing. Every time she talked about Kenya, she called her Miss Porsha. Well, what's interesting is the fact that all of these ladies, from Ramona, Kyle, Luann, who else we got? Teresa, we got Melissa, we got Kenya, and we have Cynthia. All of the ladies went on to Watch What Happens Live to sit down with Andy. Andy thought it would be a great idea for these ladies to rate whether or not they feel like past housewives are all-stars or whether they're not all-stars, right? So when it came time for them to judge whether or not Miss Porsha was an all-star, I thought it was comical and hilarious that everybody did not raise their card saying that she was an all-star. There were only 2 ladies that raised their card saying that Porsha was an all-star. And I was like, now that is a bit shady, honey. So what about the white ladies outside of Kenya? Because I didn't really expect Kenya to say that, you know, Porsha was an all-star. But all of you other ladies, why y'all feel that way? Like, did y'all misunderstand the question? Do you not watch ATL enough to know Miss Porsha? Like, why would you guys not raise your card to say that Porsha was an all-star? What was that, honey? But let me tell you, when Porsha got wind of it, she definitely took to Twitter to give everybody her thoughts, okay? And in this image that I'm showing you guys, you can see at the bottom the 2 ladies that ended up having the card up saying that Porsha is an all-star, and those 2 individuals ended up being Kyle and Cynthia, which is hilarious because I'm sure Kenya got on Kyle's case at a later time because, you know, Kyle and Kenya have grown a really good friendship. She probably hopped on her case just a little bit like, girl, don't you be sitting up there going up for the ops, honey. But it looks like both of Kenya's good Judies, Miss Cynthia and Kyle, are going up for Miss Porsha, saying that she's an all-star. But this is what Porsha had to say. Porsha says, "This is so cute. Being that I was originally casted to head the All-Star show along with Giselle, traveling during quarantine was our issue. Booked and busy when it came back around. Watch hashtag Porsha Family Matters November 28th and grab my book, hashtag Pursuit of Porsha." Shout out to Cynthia and Kyle, honey. So this is what Porsha had to say, and I just thought it was funny. Y'all know, for the most part, Miss Porsha has been on her zen. Y'all know how zen win. Miss Wendy Osefo has her zen win. Porsha has been on her zen. Like, she ain't really been saying, you know, clapping back or saying anything, right? So I find it very interesting that now she chose this moment. Like, even if people were to say whatever about her, she ain't been really giving her commentary about nothing, her response, her opinion, nothing. But now that these ladies said that they don't feel like she's an all-star, at least majority of the cast don't feel like she's an all-star, she feels the need to come out and give her thoughts. But I know what you're doing there, Porsha. I can't really fault you on that, girl. But Porsha used them as a moment to promote her upcoming functions. She knew all eyes is on her right now, so she needs as much mess, for lack of a better word, she needs as much mess as she can find, as if her and Simon ain't enough mess already, honey, to make sure that she you know, adds to the promo of her upcoming projects, like her book as well as her show. Y'all know she just dropped her statement, or at least a clip, okay, an insert from her book talking about her reaching out to investigators regarding her interaction with R. Kelly. So she's exposed that. She's dropped a little bit of tea. Everybody knows when you drop R. Kelly's name, it's going to be a lot of talk surrounding that. So The name was dropped in the book, in the conversation, in the interview that she did with People. And she's gonna definitely use that to try and get this book sold, honey. So again, y'all let me know if y'all gonna purchase these books, girl. But I guess, honey, we gonna go ahead and scoot on over and get into a review. All right. First things first, Luann over there flirting with the help. And I think the help's name is Michael or something like that, but she really like him young, honey. Right. So Teresa over there reading her daily cards that her man wrote. I believe it was her man or her family or whatever. They wrote little daily cards for her while she was away. I was like, that was cute. You know, Ramona and Teresa seem to be like getting on like better terms with each other, trying to bond, trying to build something, considering the fact that, you know, Ramona said some not so great things about Teresa in the press or whatnot. So Teresa was just like, girl, I'm not featuring you. But of course, Ramona apologized to her. So we see them trying to get some type of connection going. Okay. Teresa over there supporting Ramona about her finding a man, because if Ramona don't want nothing else, honey, she wants her a man. She wants her a good man. So that's what she wants. Now, later on, we can see where the ladies are sitting around, and they spoke on, because Luann was kind of talking about this guy that she be kicking it with, like she be hanging out with or whatever. He's not, I guess, like her main dude, but it's somebody that she kicks it with often, and she wanted to take him somewhere. And somehow they got on Erica Jane and her being a part of Broadway. That came up, and so Cynthia, you know, let the ladies know, like, hey, you know, Candy and Nene from, you know, Atlanta, they also have been a part of Broadway. So we have talent in our area as well. And that led Teresa to ask her, like, how is that with Nene? Like, have you guys spoken? Like, what's going on with that? Cynthia lets her know, like, girl, she was like, everybody asked me that, but I have not spoken to Nene, you know what I'm saying? And I have no issue with not being friends with her anymore. She said she doesn't really enjoy talking about Nene. At this time when it was filmed, I feel like this could have been filmed in 2019 or something. Or maybe it could have been filmed in 2020. Maybe it was 2020 and they just not releasing it now. But anyway, so Cynthia, she responded and lets her know that everyone asked her about Nene. She says that she doesn't enjoy talking about it because they don't talk, and she's okay with not being friends with her, at least at that time, right? She's probably back at that place now since, you know, things have happened, things have transpired, you know, after the passing of Greg. So they probably back in this space. Cynthia thought they was on a better accord, and Nene said, girl, it ain't changing over here, so ain't no telling, honey. Now, Teresa then relates Nene and Cynthia's situation to her and her good girl, Jacqueline, that's on her show, because she felt as though Jacqueline actually crossed her, right? Cynthia tells her that it's heartbreaking because, you know, basically what's funny is Cynthia was talking about her and Nene, which is hilarious to me because she sat up there and said that she don't enjoy talking about it. So when Teresa took over the conversation and made it about her, Cynthia grabbed the conversation right back and made it back about her. And I'm like, well, you already don't enjoy talking about Nene anyway, but okay. So Cynthia tells her that it's heartbreaking because she used to talk to Nene like every day for like hours. Like they used to like just talk all the time. And I understand that used to be your good Judy girl. So I can imagine how she felt when that friendship kind of like started to crack. You know, sometimes friendships can be slightly similar to relationship breakups. You know what I'm saying? You got to mourn the friendship, especially if you've been friends with that person, you know, for years or whatever. So Teresa goes on to speak on how she feels like a real friend wouldn't bring up legal stuff, bring up your personal legal stuff on TV, because that's how she felt Jacqueline did her. She then goes to Kyle and ask Kyle, like, you know, when it comes to Erica and her legal stuff, would you bring that up on TV, being that you're friends with her? Here go Kyle. I said, watch Kyle lie, baby. We leaning in. What you got to say, girl, with these lies? What you got to tell us? So then Kyle says that, basically, to me, I feel like Kyle says yes. She said, well, number one, Erica already knows that this stuff is going to be on TV. So that's something she already knows. But what I would do, I would put her in positions where I would ask her questions to give her the opportunity to tell her side of the story. I'm like, Kyle, why are you lying to me, people? Girl, we didn't see that on this past season. But I guess, honey, we guessed. Anyway, lies you tell, because I feel like Sutton was the main one asking the questions or bringing things into question. So that way, if Erica felt the need to defend herself, she could have. So Kyle didn't play that role, but whatever. So Luann opens up about her friend Bethenny, and I thought this was messy, girl, because Bethenny ended up. I said, "Oh, girl, I'm gonna have to watch y'all shows now." See, what this is what I like about the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. It lets me in on what's been happening in the other franchises that I was not familiar with. Right now, I am definitely on some when Real Housewives New Jersey comes back, I'm most likely going to be tuned up in. Right. I want to see what is going on. Like, and I'm over here kind of like shame on me for not being tuned in the whole time. Right. Because I feel like whatever Teresa got going on and Miss Melissa, like that's entertainment within itself. So I'm definitely I think I'm definitely going to tune into that. Okay. Now let's keep going. Where was I? Yeah. So Bethenny and Luann. So what ended up happening when Bethenny saw her situation, or when Luann saw her situation with Bethenny? Bethany showed her a photo of her man kissing another woman, and it wasn't just a little peck. Okay. It was a whole arm, his arms around her, and he was like grabbing her up. And I said, oh, girl, that was completely embarrassing. And because Bethenny did that to Luann, and she did it on camera, and the way she went about doing it made Luann feel a way about her, right? She started to feel like, I don't know if this is really my friend, But what I will say, Luann looks much younger now than how she looked in that flashback that they gave. I said, oh, maybe girl done went and got some work, grew her hair, dyed her hair, right? She done went and got a whole new woman makeover. So, okay. Later on, we could see where Kyle and Kenya, she confesses to Kenya how much she loves Kenya. Kenya said, oh, I love you too, Kyle. So whatever. They start speaking they start talking about being a villain of the show or something, and how people are so focused on making you that person over and over and over again, because Kyle felt like, you are so nice, Kenya. You're such a sweet person. Like, you're not really how they make you out on the show. And she was like, yeah, she's like, and that's my thing though. They keep trying to like make me the villain and make me the bad guy. And I'm like, okay, she could have a point. She might have a point, based on how I watch Real Housewives of Potomac. And I feel like that happens with Candace often, you know what I'm saying? So I could definitely see that with Kenya, especially when, I've come across Kenya in person at a red carpet. She do come off like she's a really nice lady, like for real, for real. I feel like I've said that before in another video. And yeah, so I think deep down, Kenya probably cool. I think everybody has their ways about them, though. But I do think that Kenya probably cool. I've grown to like Kenya since I watched the season that Nene was on. What was that, season 13, season 12 or something like that, when they wore it all white and Nene put the when they had the reunion via Zoom. That's when I started to like Kenya, back in that season. But she probably like a really cool lady. But anyway, let's keep it going, honey. So they talked about that. Later on, the ladies ended up riding on their bikes, and then they got ready to kick back to have lunch or whatever. And this is when Luann brought like questions to the table for ladies to ask. And I'm not going to read off everybody's, just a few. First things first, Kyle's. Her question was, how has the show affected your relationship? She says that she's aware that the Housewives has this curse. So people say, meaning when you get on the show, you guys don't stay married for a long time. You break up, you divorce, whatever. And she says she feel like her and her husband's relationship has just gotten stronger. Like it's only gotten better for her. She feels like the people that have come on the show had already had issues within their marriage prior. And when they got on the show maximized it. And it also gave some of the individuals within their relationship the confidence to walk away from the situation they had, more confidence than what they probably had prior. So she feels like the issues they have and that we see on the show are pre-existing issues somewhere else. And I'm like, I can't really lie or fault her on that one, because it makes me think about Mel and Martell of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I feel like when it comes to them, they already had some issues and some BS that was happening way before they got on this show. And she probably had already been thinking about divorcing him, but it wasn't until she got on the show and found her power, her strength, the fact that she knows she'll be good without him. I think that's what made, and then, being able to watch it. It's one thing to be in the situation, and it's another to watch the situation outside of you. And from that, it probably clicked for her, like, yeah, this ain't it for me. I'm good. I'm out for real, for real. I'm gonna be fine. So Kyle may have a point there. Kenya's question was, how has she been affected by comments on social media? She says her first season was the hardest for her, because that's when, she didn't know a lot about social media. And I guess social media was more and more on the rise for her when she came onto the show. She also talked about how people were accusing her of paying a guy, Walter, for coming on to the show. And she said he also fed into that and went on to do interviews to lie about that as well. And that made her feel away because she was like, I would never do that. Like, I've never done that and I would never do that. Right. So I don't know what's real, what's true. I want to believe that what Kenya's saying is true. I feel like if y'all want to say that she paid him, y'all got to make sure y'all say that Cynthia paid Peter, like, to be on the show. If that's the case, you know, I don't feel like I feel like back when I couldn't stand Kenya, I think I did believe that. But now I'm like, was she even really making any money for real when she first got on the show? Did she even make enough to even be able to pay him anything? You know what I'm saying? Walter probably just had more than one thing going on. You know how dudes like to do, play you know, talk down on you, you know, to make himself look good to somebody else or whatever. He probably had a whole nother situation going on, so he had to make Kenya look bad. Ain't no telling. But let's move on. So Melissa ends up having this slumber party, which ended up being dope, right? But prior to the slumber party happening, Kenya was upstairs and she was really going through it, having like a little breakdown over Mark, because he ended up reaching out to her and reminding her of how they were in the beginning and how hopeful they were and all this other stuff. And he probably told her he really didn't want to get a divorce, but she was like, you know, the reason we're here is because of you. That's what she said. Like, the reason we're at this place or where we're getting a divorce really is because of you and your antics. So Kyle goes in there to check on her. She lets Kyle in. Cynthia comes in to check on her. But what Cynthia did was she didn't close the door behind her, so the cameras were about to come in. And Kenya was at a place where she didn't want nobody to see her break down. And I'm like, Kenya, this ain't that new girl. I don't know why in this moment you acting a little sensitive or shaky or whatever. But we guess, honey, I suppose. So, you know, she kind of felt the way about that with Cynthia. She was like, I just feel like if you're really my friend and you come in and you check on me, then, you know, you should check on me as a friend and not bring the cameras, right? So there's that. I don't know. Now that I think about it, because Kyle went in there without the cameras. She politely went in there and closed the door right behind her, like, no, you can't come in here. She having a moment. So Kenya may have a point, because it seemed like Kyle understood the assignment as soon as she went in there. And Cynthia seems like when she came down the hallway, it seemed like production went and got her. Kyle had some dresses in her hand, so she was going to come to that room anyway. But she heard Kenya, she knocked on the door, she went in, right? But with Cynthia, the way she came down the hall as though production went to her and said, hey, something's wrong with Kenya. We need you to go down the hall and check on her and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. That's what it seems like it was given. Right. But anyway, so she goes in, she checks on her good friend, and Kenya says that Mark was telling her that he was sorry for any of the pain he may have caused her. Like, sir, shut up talking to me, because you always say that SHI. We're not trying to hear it or feature it. Like, shut up, Mark. So Kyle and Cynthia speak on Mark, and Kyle says that she thinks that Kenya is at a place where she's really not over him. She's still not over him. And Cynthia seems like she knows that. So Cynthia says, well, he really isn't a bad guy. He's a pretty good guy, right? It's just that they're not good together is what she was trying to say. So I don't know what that is about. I don't know how they treat each other. I don't even know why they ain't go to like a real therapy or something. I don't understand it. I also think Cynthia sitting up there trying to understand and say, I don't really know why they can't really get it together. It's like, girl, they don't even live in the same place. That's probably the issue number one. He probably wants her to relocate. She don't want to relocate because, you know, her job is there. But I feel like shame on him, because I think at one point he probably didn't want her to do the show or something, or at least he didn't want to be featured on the show. It's like, you already knew who you married. You knew who you went and married. So what kind of stuff is that? It's like he knew who he married, but he married her with the intentions of changing her. And I'm just like, no, sir, change yourself. Okay, change yourself, sir. All right. So then what else happened? The ladies go down. Kenya finally pulls it together. They all go downstairs, right? They got these cute little pajamas on that Melissa got for the ladies. I liked it. It was super cute. They played, I'm going to call it drunk Twister, because they put Twister down on the ground and they put shots on certain colors. And when you spin it, you have to put your leg on this color, and you got to be able to reach and grab, you know what I'm saying, your shot with your mouth and throw it back. Like it was dope. It was cute. It was cute. What's the other thing they ended up doing? Okay, yeah. Then they played a game where they put these mouthpieces in their mouth and they couldn't really talk. And it was like, I can't hide it. Like it was funny. Like they had some in their mouth, but they had a card in their hand. And they had to read whatever was on that card, but their mouth was stuck open. and they still had to talk, and the other ladies had to make out what they were saying. And I love the games. So I said, oh, I'm gonna have to steal all these games. Like, this is cute, right? So when it came down to Ramona having to tell her part, right, to speak what was on her card, she couldn't say a word. It was hard for her to get it out. She was like, and then she just like thrust it. And when she thrusted it, girl, it came out her mouth and out her cootie twat, because homegirl pissed on herself. She had to run to the bathroom. Girl, I hollered. It was so funny. And I'm over here wondering, why is Kyle running to the bathroom with a towel in between her legs? Child, come to find out, Kyle done pissed on herself laughing so hard at Ramona. Girl, I said, not y'all. That's what y'all got in common, some pissy heifers, because that's what y'all is, honey, pissy heifers. It was funny. Another good episode from the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I hope you guys are getting into it. I hope you guys are enjoying the review. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below for the latest episode of RHUGT, honey. That's all I got. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.